Within any given moment, the essence of your soul self is actually flowing through two completely different inner realities. And so we want to start to get to know aspects of the self within each of these individuated realities, develop nourishing relational bonds throughout body, mind, and soul, and then expand the bridges for connection, communication, and collaboration so that all aspects of the soul essence can flow through all elements of the brain and body-mind fluidly and congruently with harmony and unity throughout all aspects and parts of self through body, mind, and soul. Right here and now, your soul essence is flowing through two individuated inner realms. Your soul self is flowing through your mind, and your soul self is flowing through your body. But instead of the conceptualizations of mind and body we typically think of, we're actually talking about distinct brain regions and their capacities to navigate different areas of personal experience in unique ways. The way that the soul self flows through the mind has to do with the front parts of the brain and the left parts of the brain. And the way the soul essence flows through the body has to do with the right parts of the brain and the back parts of the brain. And this creates the sense of self that we experience as neuroscience and consciousness collide and the soul self flows through the miracles of the brain and body-mind. The key component to harmonizing body, mind, and soul is to understand how the soul self flows through these two different inner realities and how the brain regions affect and impact the aspects and attributes of the soul within the human expression and experience, and then the bridges between these different regions of the self through different regions of brain and body-mind wiring. The journey to exploring this involved self-healing really severely split brain hemispheres and a total mind-body disconnect. So I had a unique opportunity to explore these inner realities in a fun, fresh, new, revolutionary way. And I've created a free gift for you, a Rebirthing Body, Mind, Soul Foundations playbook valued at over $200, which you can attain for free by just one click of a button entering the magic portal on my website. And in it, you'll be able to explore terms through my trifecta treasure trove that describe these concepts in a new way. The soul essence in the mind is the explicit sense of self, or the more obvious sense of self. And the soul essence flowing through the body is the implicit sense of self, or the more subtle sense of self. We also explore this in relation with the brain activity and even masculine and feminine energies. And so the way the soul essence flows through the mind is the left and the front parts of the brain in relation with masculine energies of divine consciousness. And the way the soul essence flows through the body is through the right and back parts of the brain, especially in relation with the feminine energies of divine consciousness. And as we explore the obvious sense of ourself and the subtle energies within our sense of self, explicit and implicit self-sense, then we have an opportunity to innerstand realities of body, mind, soul on a deeper level so that you can know more of the fullness of all that you are, shift and transform anything that needs it, and then further create more expansion through a space of inner unity and wholeness. As all parts of the brain and body mind are able to connect, communicate, and collaborate, and all aspects of the soul self are also able to connect, communicate, and collaborate within the human expression. Let's do a little example of what this actually means or looks like, just one of infinite scenarios. So right here and now, in this exact moment, there are two different realities happening inside of you. Let's just take a quick glimpse into this and just explore this for fun. And then you can go check out that playbook and other content to dive deeper. In this moment, your explicit sense of self, the way that your soul essence is flowing through your mind, especially through the left and front parts of the brain, in relation with masculine energies of divine consciousness, that explicit sense of self, self-sense within you is focused on the words that I am saying and what they mean, translating them into a message and understanding the linguistics through logic. There's the capacity for conscious awareness, mindful awareness and observation, and intentionality. And you are consciously and intentionally choosing to listen to these words right now. Your mind is perceiving the energy of this moment as the brain gathers information and translates it and projects an experience into your mind. Simultaneously, there's also another reality happening. Your implicit self-sense, or the way your soul self flows through your body, especially through right and back parts of the brain in relation with feminine energies of divine consciousness, your implicit self-sense is focused on the non-verbal cues of my body and my energy. And the mind really doesn't care about that stuff, really doesn't think about it, really doesn't focus on it. But the body is noticing it and the body is responding. And so the way my body is postured and the way my face is making expressions and the nonverbal cues of my eye contact or bodily posture and movement and the overall energy of the way that I'm sharing this is being received by the energy of your body and the soul essence that flows through your body, especially through the right brain and the back brain, the mid to back brain. And your implicit self-sense, or the way your soul essence is flowing through your body, is also focused on the way your body is receiving this moment beyond what you are directly focused on. The mind is focused on one particular thing, but the body is gathering energy about everything else that's going on. And so wherever you are right now and however you're sitting or whatever you're doing, if you're sitting and you're driving or you're sitting on a couch or maybe you're standing up and doing the dishes or whatever, your body is receiving the energy of how you are feeling and how you are moving, even in a way that has nothing to do with what you're consciously focused on through the mind. The explicit and implicit sense of ourself through body, mind, and soul have totally different preferences, priorities, personality traits, modalities of processing through things, different ways of thinking and feeling and choosing and moving and responding. They're basically two completely different aspects of self. And that's been demonstrated through neuroscience. When neuroscientists explore the left and right brain hemispheres, they literally say it's like having two completely different personalities, which is why when there's activity of consciousness in the brain hemispheres individually, it can literally manifest like totally different people, because the left brain and the right brain are completely different sensations of ourself. And that manifests through the unique experiences of consciousness as the soul self collides with brain-body wiring. When these inner realities are fully actualized and connected, meaning there's no dormant energies, everything's active and engaged, but with complete fluid flow throughout these two realms of our body, mind, and soul, then it creates kind of a magnificent experience where we get to experience the feelings and the visual and tactile sensations and the emotions and the raw sensory data, but then we also have language to describe it and an individuated sense of self to explore it through, and a fact-based exploration of how to describe sequences in linear order, and the ability for conscious awareness and mindful choice, but also access to unconscious and instinctive skill sets and natural abilities. And so we want to support the soul essence, your self-essence, in understanding, innerstanding, the way that your self, your soul, your self-essence flows through the brain and body mind and is impacted by these two completely different inner realms. And to honor and hold space for these parts of self, these aspects of self that have a completely different sensation of who they are and what matters and how to navigate life and how to feel about their existence and what choices to look at and how to feel and how to think and how to move and who to be. And then once you're able to understand these two distinct realities, to fully actualize and connect them. And this includes deep integration of left-right brain hemispheres and deep integration of the triune brain, where the forebrain connects with the back brain through the midbrain. Little game here, little head game here, ready? Forebrain connects with the back brain through the midbrain, and the back brain connects with the forebrain through the midbrain, and the midbrain is balanced in relation with both the back brain and the front brain. And simultaneously, the left and right brains are fully connected at each point of the corpus callosum. Kind of a little fun game here you can play, okay? So we want to connect this with this through this and this and this through this. And in that process, we're able to understand our personal experiences on a deeper level. For example, I was going through a journey of learning some new ideas, learning some new stuff about business. And I was taking all these trainings and classes and courses. And it was like really intense, but also really cool to learn new stuff. But I was doing that every day for quite a while, not taking a lot of breaks for the whole self-care, relaxation, chill and enjoy thing. And then I got to a point where I went to go to the class and it was fine. You know, I had a good morning and had done all my things to take care of myself. But I went to this class and literally just immediately started crying. And I just felt like screaming. And I didn't understand why. And I realized that it was because of the soul self in the mind being overactive without holding space for the activity of the soul in the body. And this was creating tension in the brain regions, where the way the soul self in the forebrain to the midbrain and the left brain was like heavy on the learning and the doing and the how do I pursue my goals and how do I take new action and how do I integrate this information so that I'm making different choices and like a lot of, I know, right? That's what I was saying. A lot of that stuff, right? And then the soul self in the right brain and the midbrain and the back brain was like, I just want to enjoy the moment. I just want to feel good now. I just want to rest. I just want to relax. I just want to play. I just want to feel good about the visual and somatic and tactile and sensory stimulation I'm experiencing without needing to do all of this intense thinking. And the self in these parts of the brain was getting stressed out by the self in these parts of the brain. So I had to take a step back, and it was really difficult because the self here was so intensely activated, these parts of the brain had a hard time calming down. And these aspects of the self had a hard time reconnecting with the other aspects of self. In everyday life, we want to bring awareness and understanding to the way the essence of our self or our soul is flowing through the mind, including the mid, front, and left parts of the brain, and the other inner reality that has a very different landscape in terms of energies, characteristics, skill sets, preferences, priorities, ways of thinking, feeling, moving, choosing, responding, all of it, all the things that make us who we are, totally different inner energetic landscape. The way the essence of self or soul is flowing through the body, especially the mid, back, and right parts of the brain. And this is also related with the bridge of masculine and feminine energies of self. As you explore the Rebirthing Body, Mind, Soul Foundations playbook, an introduction to the work that I do through the original modalities of my trifecta treasure trove, you'll discover over 30 specific energetic characteristics within each sense of self. The explicit self-sense, or the sense of self who is the soul essence, a lot of S's there, soul, self-essence, sense of self, self-sense, soul, self-sense, soul, self-sense, soul, self-sense, within the mind and the left, mid, and front parts of the brain through masculine energy, and the implicit self-sense, or the soul essence flowing through the body, especially the mid, back, and right parts of the brain through feminine energies. As you explore these 30 plus characteristics within each sense of self, you'll have the opportunity to connect deeper with these parts of your brain and body mind, and simultaneously connect deeper and more intimately with the aspects of your self-essence who are within the experience of your brain and body mind. And this creates distinction and connection through 4 elements or layers of inner realities or personal experience. There's the awareness of self and the experiencer of self, which is the essence of your soul self, your self essence. And then there is the activity within your brain and body mind that's creating your moment to moment personal experience. And then there's the wiring of your brain and body mind, the underlying structures of the data that's existing there all of the time, whether it's immediately activated or not. And so we're creating distinction and connection between consciousness and neuroscience, or the soul self, soul essence, within the human experience and the structures of the brain and body mind. Through the language of self aspects, which can be practiced inwardly through a meditative state or externally through a written journal prompt, you can start to connect deeper with these aspects of self and these layers of your inner realities. And this can actually create personal power, because then you have more opportunity to create shifts and transformation within your inner realms and experiences, while creating more unity and connection throughout all aspects of yourself through body, mind, and soul. For example, you might say, I, as the awareness of self, not the self within experience, okay? I, as the awareness of self, I see, love, honor, and hold space for the part of my brain and body mind that focuses on the feeling of experience and the aspects of my self essence who are within the experience of that. And then you can explore this for every and any sensation you're encountering, and or all those different 30 plus characteristics within the explicit and implicit sense of self. Once you start to practice this deeper self-attunement, you then have the opportunity to create shifts and transformation. Once you've distinguished the essence of yourself from what you're experiencing through brain-body activity, and the awareness of yourself from the experiencer of self, then you can reunify, activate, and reconnect all parts of self in a deep, intimate way that creates more wholeness and love from within your being in body, mind, and soul, and to actually rewire, resculpt, and shift the activity in your brain and body mind to shift the way you're encountering personal experience from the inside out. And from resolving really severe disruptions of those energies to expanding into more of their potential, these practices are a paramount lifelong skill set worth cultivating. The most powerful practice from this point on is to redevelop body-mind attachment systems, which is a fancy way to say that you nourish internal relational bonds between aspects of self, the aspects of self in the left brain, growing relational bonds with the aspects of self in the right brain, the aspects of self in the front and mid brain, creating relational bonds with the aspects of self in the mid and back brain, the aspects of self in masculine energy, creating nourishing relational bonds with the aspects of self in feminine energy, the present moment self creating relational bonds, relational internal attachment bonds with the childhood self, inner child, or foundational self aspects, the awareness of self nourishing relational attachment bonds with the experiencer of self, etc., etc., etc. And as these relational internal bonds are developed between aspects of the self, not the brain and body mind, through the brain and body mind, but we're working with the substance of the soul essence, the substance of the soul, the essence of the self, not the brain body wiring or details of experience, but through that to transform it and shift it. As these relational bonds are developed throughout aspects of the soul essence within its human experience and expression, then there's also the somatic satiation of specific internal needs, including the need to feel seen, loved, supported, safe, secure, connected, with a sense of being valued and being important, with a sense of belonging, with respect, recognition, embrace, allowance. A somatic satiation of these specific needs as parts of self actually create the fulfillment of those needs for each other. This part of self is like, hey, I see you. This part of self is like, I very much respect you. Long story short, there's obviously much more to that. But in this journey, and there's so many different ways to practice this, from closed eyes meditative experiences to guided experiences in mirrors, to practices that you use in everyday moments, to activities that you set some time aside for. Maybe it's every single day you show up for it, or maybe it's a couple hours once a week where you really set time aside for it, or all of the above. But as you go through a journey of redeveloping body-mind attachment systems, then the brain and the body actually get resculpted, transforming how a lifetime of experiences now impacts you and rebirthing body-mind foundations so that the origins of body, mind, and soul, the origins of brain wiring, the origins of body-mind wiring, the way that your inner realities navigate and self-regulate through your experience and sense of self and your thoughts and your feelings and your choices and all of it, it comes from your soul and not past experiences. Past experiences can be used as a tool for growth and learning and healing and expansion and inner awareness and understanding and compassion and whatnot. But the way that your inner realities are structured directly derives from the energetic essence of your soul, not past experiences. So you consciously sculpt body, mind, soul foundations. You consciously sculpt the foundation of your inner being instead of allowing it to automatically, unconsciously exist just based on however experiences might have caused it to be wired and activated now. And in that process, we end up transmuting a lot of those residual energies. If there's stuck energies from unprocessed experiences, that gets rewired in this process, even without looking at those past experiences. And so as you explore the way the soul flows through the mind, the way the soul flows through the body, and then practicing the language of self aspects. And all of this information is in your free introductory playbook, Okay, it's the most transformative playbook you'll ever lay hands on, besides the other ones that I've created if you buy any of the other ones. It is such a powerful journey. And so as you explore the 30 plus aspects of the way your self essence flows in your mind, the way your self essence flows in your body, and then the way they're connecting, and you practice that language of self aspects to say, I see, love, honor, and hold space for this sensation of my experience and this ability of my body, mind, and my brain, and the aspects of my self essence who are within the experience of that. And then you start to nourish the way that you associate with your body, mind, and soul, and start to sculpt this new foundation. Then you can expand your body, mind, soul journey to its next level of depth and height of wonder as you nourish relational attachment bonds between aspects of the self, practicing distinction and connection between specific aspects of self through the brain and body, mind, while unifying with the energetic essence of your soul. As you show up for these daily practices, then, you're actually rebirthing body, mind, soul foundations. And in that process, transforming the existing wiring so that the brain and the body, mind can best support your soul essence. And this includes expanding into more sensations of inner wholeness, profound wholeness, unconditional love, and infinite magic. And more sensations of bliss, joy, peace, love, freedom, presence, satisfaction, fulfillment. All the good feels of life come from our body, mind, and soul, not experience. Experience is not what gives us those feelings. They might activate and increase some certain feelings, but all of that stuff comes from our body, mind, and soul. So we're repatterning, resculpting, reprogramming, rewiring the brain and body, mind so it can best support the soul essence. And this can include transforming any unprocessed past experiences, even without directly looking at them, improving brain-body regulation, and improving and expanding the navigational networks and the neural pathways that create our thoughts and our feelings and our choices and our habits. And so if there's an inner pattern you want to change, it'll get shifted without needing to directly work with it, just by nourishing relational attachment bonds through aspects of self as you get to know and intimately understand how the soul essence flows through the mind, through left, mid, and front parts of the brain, and how the soul essence flows through the body, through the right, mid, and back parts of the brain. And we create this fluid energy flow, this integrative harmonious flow in mind, body, and soul while connecting deeper with the essence of self and improving and expanding the brain and body mind's capacity to support the self, simultaneously healing anything that needs to be healed and transformed and shifted and resolved, but without looking at it directly. It gets reconstructed at its foundations, which means that the transformational results of shifting that are a million times more impactful and long-lasting than if you directly tried to work with those superficial experiences. And this journey is massively accelerated in the most enjoyable way. So not only are you rewiring your brain and rewiring your body-mind and resculpting brain and body-mind foundations and reunifying self aspects and resculpting the way that patterns of thinking and feeling and moving and choosing and responding are automatically generated, and the way your brain and your body self-regulate naturally, and the way past experiences now impact body, mind, soul within and beyond awareness. All of that and so much more is simultaneously being accomplished while you're having fun and enjoying the journey and experiencing loving nourishment throughout all aspects of your body, mind, and soul. So I invite you into the Rebirthing Body, Mind, Soul Foundations playbook, a free gift. And then from there, after you explore that, there's like 80 pages or something amazing and like so transformative, amazing journal prompts and guidelines and step-by-step practices and insights and teachings and some pretty fun, colorful diagrams and just like magical stuff. Then if you want to dive deeper, I offer self-guided journeys, single sessions, and multi-month one-on-one personalized journeys. And so the self-guided journeys, you can go through other playbooks or videos and dive deeper into applying these practices and techniques to create tangible transformation and somatic shifts that actually sustain your transformation for the rest of your life. It's not a momentary, oh, that was nice, but now I'm back to this. Like if you show up for those practices, you are literally rebirthing body, mind, soul foundations in the deepest way, creating profound, lasting transformation in the wiring of your brain and body mind, while connecting deeper with all aspects of self. And that wiring will stay because you're not just working with the superficial experiences, you're working with the foundations that is affecting all of it beyond what you can imagine. And so there's introductory and beginner journeys and intermediate and advanced journeys. So there's always another new fun thing to explore, including guided marathon journeys, guided self-hypnosis sessions, and guided practices to play with in everyday moments, whether that's a practice for 5 minutes or 3 hours. So much magic is to be found. And when you're ready for that more intimate, personalized journey, I facilitate guided journeys through body, mind, soul, self treasure mapping, where you can create fun, colorful drawings and diagrams to intimately understand how the soul self is flowing through the brain and body mind, or how consciousness is colliding with neuroscience into your own everyday, moment-to-moment personal experience. And then from there to create personalized play prompt prescriptions. You are literally prescribed play. And so if there's any aspect of self you want to connect deeper with, any energy of body, mind, soul you want to harmonize or bring greater balance to, or any experience you want to transform, whether that's a past experience or a present sensation or both, we can transform all of it through a prescription of play. And each one is personally customized to literally rewire the neural networks that are impacting your experience through your brain, body, mind wiring from a deep understanding of neuroscience and consciousness colliding. And it's also designed to be fun and enjoyable and nourishing and rewarding every step of the journey, not just when you get to your destination. Through my one-on-one sessions, I also offer more intimately guided journeys, whether that's a guided meditation, closed-eyed, or a guided journey through marathon practices, eye gazing in a mirror. And I've developed some amazing techniques for that I won't get into now, but over 10,000 hours developing brand new techniques that allow us to instantly rewire parts of the brain and body mind and welcome home aspects of self. And then you're prescribed a marathon prescription in addition to the play prompt prescription. And then you practice a guided marathon experience every day to rewire the brain and body mind, create shifts and transformation while connecting deeper with all parts of self and unifying body, mind, and soul. And if all of this sounds super juicy, delicious, my absolute favorite, most blessed, sacred, transformative, life-changing, heart-expanding, mind-bending, soul-activating journey is through a 3 to 6 or 12-month one-on-one personalized journey with me. And we explore all of this and so much more. You can find out more through a free introductory playbook, starting with the Rebirthing Body, Mind, Soul Foundations playbook, and then diving deeper into more about the offering. And if you're interested in that, then let's connect through a free miracle meeting where we can chat about how this journey can be personalized to fulfill your intentions and create the shifts and transformation for greater unity and expansion in your body, mind, and soul. So go ahead and start with that Rebirthing Body, Mind, Soul Foundations free introductory playbook. And then from there, you'll have the chance to explore whichever journey best serves you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. And I'd love to hear from you. Please share in the comments below something new that you learned today or something about this topic that personally interests you. Have you ever noticed the aspect of your soul essence within your mind, especially through mid, front, and left aspects of brain activity, and the way that your soul essence is flowing through your body and your right, mid, and back parts of brain activity? I'd love to hear about it. You can comment below and then find all the magical links in the video description, and I'll see you again soon.